get to that Jay Leno update first. So the former Tonight Show host was discharged from Grossman Burn Center in Los Angeles on Monday, 9 days after he suffered serious burns in a garage gasoline fire. People magazine reports that Jay will receive follow-up care at the outpatient clinic for burns to his face, chest, and hands he received during that, and showed the picture. Leno underwent treatment involving surgical excision and grafting procedure, which removes unhealthy tissue to promote wound healing and reduce the risk of infection. He took this picture with the nurses, and when we zoom in on a little, you see he has a lot of burning around his chin and down his neck, and a little around his mouth.
Well, he's going to, like Richard Pryor, he's going to be able to get a whole new 20 minutes in his act. I mean,
it was a blessing.
Richard Pryor turned that lemonade into lemons into lemonade. Yeah.
How lucky was? I mean, I feel like that's just based on the first initial report I saw, where it was like, in serious condition. It was just a very small, clickbaitable headline that made me go, "Oh fuck, is he going to get out of this?"
Well, because with a fire, it's all about infection,
right?
So that was the big deal.
And how bad the burns are, right?
Right.
Yeah, I thought I was calling him on Saturday, but I called his shop, and then Bernard, his guy, picked up, who's always there, and talked to Bernard for a while. Then I talked to Jay, and he said he was getting out good, and he was doing good, and everyone was wishing him well, and blah, blah, blah. And then and it was funny because I went out, that was Saturday afternoon, then I went out Saturday night for Jimmy Kimmel's birthday party, and everyone looked at me and went like, "How's your buddy Jay doing?" And I was like, I talked to him. It's like, doing all right. Because there was a little competition for a while with Jay and Jimmy. I think they buried the hatchet a little while ago, so it's all good.
Also, if you do get really badly burned, that was my next thought of like, I hope he's okay, obviously. And then if you are okay and the burns are bad, do you go, I don't want to, is there a party that's like, I don't want to go on stage and do stand-up anymore because it's so bad that like I don't think people can get past that? Or do you...
The Elephant Man.
You go Phantom of the Opera.
You have to.
Half the mask.
You get the cape. You get the mask.
The cape is important.
You get out there.
The cape is first.
With the cane.
Right.
Yeah.
What was the total bill at the dinner for Jimmy?
Cousin Sal wasn't there to run it up.
Goes crazy
for Dixon, and we went to Pizza Bianco, and Chris Bianco, the guy who's a friend of ours who runs the whole thing, was there, and he was just bringing out pizzas, but he didn't.
Free food.
Didn't have the seafood tower.
Boo, no truffle.
It was a kind of beer and wine thing. It was a kind of wine and pizza and charcuterie, but it wasn't the big. I'm going to order a gin martini with a diamond in it or anything like that.
No Vouv to other tables.
No, we couldn't run the bill up.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this really, really horrible shooting, but how the shooter was subdued. I don't know if you heard this yet.
I did.
Let's talk about this Club Q situation. People at this gay club in Colorado Springs have been hailed as heroes for subduing a gunman and preventing a deadly shooting from being even worse, even more horrific. Colorado Springs Mayor John Suthers said one patron grabbed the attacker's own gun, which is reported to have been an AR-15 style weapon, and hit him with it during the shooting in Club Q on Saturday night. Another club goer reportedly helped to keep the gunman pinned to the ground until the police arrived.
They do those things like when you're a kid and, Officer Johnson would show up at your school and he'd talk to you about saying no to dope and
sure.
to
the
drugs. And
Dare to keep kids off drugs.
Sometimes he had a parrot or something with him that was, Deputy Cracker.
That was his name.
Saltine or whatever. And they do some shtick. I would like these handful of gay club owners, club goers, I should say, to show up to Uvalde, Texas. Uvalde, Texas, and talk to the guys who cowered in the hall for 9 hours and go,
no shit.
Hey, I'm a florist who likes to get my funk on a Saturday night, but we were able to take down the shooter with zero training, zero equipment,
no
weaponry, no badges, no nothing. You guys hid behind a vending machine in a fucking hallway for an hour and a half. So here's some tips.
Couldn't agree more.
That's a great call.
Absolutely. So the gunman killed 5 people, injured 25 before he was arrested. Now, for some other news, at least 5 people. Oh, I'm sorry. They plan to seek murder charges against the alleged shooter, who's this 22-year-old with a rap sheet that includes an arrest last year for allegedly threatening his mother with a bomb.
Yes.
So when you talk about tells.
Yeah.
Now, you said he was a rapper?
No, his rap sheet.
His rap sheet. Okay. So was the
Could be a rapper.
I thought
I
maybe
don't
the bomb was going to be like his hit single. That
I
like you don't
understand.
even know how good it's going to be. An actual bomb.
I'd be the worst cop to show up when you threaten to blow up your mom because I didn't have a great relationship with my mom,
Right.
so I'm a little bit sympathetic, So I'd just be at the front door
Right.
going, "You threatened to blow up your mom? Yeah. What'd she do? She's kind of likes to control the TV remote." All right, I'm listening.
Yeah.
Keep going.
What is she? What's her go-to show?
We're going to make a list of pros and cons.
She watches Murphy Brown until my eyes bleed.
Yeah, we won't come next time. Just blow
Yeah,
up.
you're good.
By the way, that's how kids have progressed. Because I remember I used to threaten to run away.
Right.
Did you ever threaten to run away from home?
Of course.
And my mom, again, being penis and tits kid, she was just like, it's like like a 20-minute walk uphill to get out of the cul-de-sac, and a fat kid's kryptonite is an incline. You ain't going anywhere.
No.
Also, I made spaghetti and meatballs for dinner. You think
right.
fucking you're really leaving tonight? But to threaten to blow up your mom, I mean, I was always just like, I'll find a new mom.
Right.
Yeah.
But like, never would have think.
That's the thing. That's the Heathers. The original Heathers movie was made to get the premise is kids are killing themselves, and now it's I'm mad. I'm going to kill everybody else.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to have to police their own kid. I don't know what we want the government to do, but this kid, you got to go in and search that guy's room every 20 minutes.
And I'm glad I looked up 2 sources and heard 1 radio story about it, and nobody said his name. And I think that is
good. That's
such a baby step in the right
Yes.
direction. We never do it, but I'm glad other people are also on board.
That'll help.
Yeah, don't canonize these shitbags. Let's talk about the World Cup. Now, we're not going to talk about the games or the points because I don't know anything about it, and I know this guy doesn't give a fuck. So let's talk about everything else. With the World Cup off and running in Qatar, NPR has comprised a list of things that fans shouldn't do and their accompanying punishments if the laws are broken. Let's just go down the list.
Yeah. By the way, all the people who claim that, soccer's the biggest sport in the world and everyone loves soccer, then how come we only get interested every 4 years or something?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Great
If you're
question.
into it,
They tried.
We'll try this experiment with something Adam's interested in. Have you not looked at any internet porn in the last 4 years?
What?
Or has it been 20 minutes?
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's literally
All right.
distracted right now when you asked me. I was at boobies.com.
That's my point. We're not into it.
The only exception was in the 80s when I was very, very young and we got to go to Comets indoor soccer games in Kansas City. And it was only because as a little girl, I remember when they come out, there are lasers and there is smoke. And that was awesome. Do not remember the games.
Indoor soccer was fun.
Yeah, that was a big thing.
I played outdoor soccer until 5th grade, and then I scored on my own team, and my friend's dad called me a fucking idiot. And I was like, this is a wrap for me on this sport.
Yeah, I've also scored on my own team in soccer.
Oh, it's demoralizing.
Yeah.
I saw in
Wow.
slow-mo my buddy Noah Hostetler diving towards the goal going, what are you doing? And his dad was like, you fucking idiot. I was like, dude,
So what you can't do in Qatar or Qatar?
For today, we're going to call it Qatar like guitar. Okay, so let's just go down the list. Alcohol. In Qatar, regular fans won't have access to alcohol at matches. Only spectators in the stadium's high-end luxury suites will have access to booze. Outside the stadium, fans can only drink at special World Cup gathering spaces. Do not test this.
yikes.
In general, the public consumption of alcohol is illegal in Qatar and can bring up to 6 months in prison.
What a great spot for the World Cup.
I
I feel like
think-
drinking is all you're doing.
Yeah,
I'm
that's all
glad
we
you said
have.
that. I read, and this should come as a surprise to no one. I don't know if this is true, but I saw that it was a bidding war between Qatar and Russia, and Qatar's bribe was better. So if we want to know like how these things are decided, that's just what I saw. So let's see. Anyone smuggling alcohol into the country can face up to 3 years in prison. Let's see. Speech that's deemed critical of the Qatari government could trigger an arrest. Those laws apply both to spoken word and social media, so you're having a great time and you're being treated very well. Meanwhile, when it comes to talking smack at the stands, as spectators do, you want to keep that to a dull roar. Arguing or insulting others in public could lead to an arrest.
That's all there is arguing and booze at soccer games. Like, why bother?
I don't know. I'm going to give you a few more. Dress codes in many public areas require both men and women to cover shoulders, chest, stomach, knees, and tight leggings be covered by long shirts and dresses. Being gay, and this is a quote, homosexuality is criminalized in Qatar, and LGBTQ people are reportedly subjected to conversion therapy and harassment by authorities and imprisonment.
Everyone who watches soccer's gay. So how are they going to weed them out?
Well, they can't arrest everybody.
Yeah.
Finally, sex, just in general. Visitors
can't have
Qatar
it on the field during the game.
Can also face harsh punishments for indecent acts and the act of sexual intercourse outside of marriage. Accusations ranging from a fine or 6 months imprisonment for anyone found to have committed immoral actions or gestures to up to 7 years in prison for someone having sex outside their marriage. If you're pregnant and you're going to the World Cup, you need to show a marriage certificate if you even want to go to a doctor's appointment for prenatal care.
What year is it over there?
Well, I'm glad you asked, because 2 more things about this whole vibe. Here's a couple other issues. In order to build all the stadiums and infrastructure for this, Qatar brought in hundreds of thousands of migrant workers. Human rights groups say there were thousands of unexplained deaths of these migrant workers during the nearly 12 years of preparations for the World Cup. Officials in Qatar say only 37 people died, and they only count 3 if we're just talking about in the workplace. So there's that. And then as far as everything else, I don't know if you saw this clip, but I
always say this, who are your Mexicans?
Yeah, we've talked about this.
And everyone takes great offense to that. Like if you talk to someone from Belgium, I go, who are your Mexicans? They go, what? And I go, who are your Mexicans? And they go, what are you talking about? Like, what am I going to answer? I said, no, listen, I'm from California. Mexicans do all the work. When you drive through a nice, affluent neighborhood, you will see the people mowing the lawns, the people slinging the stucco, the entire crew on the mega mansion that's being built. It's all Hispanic. You drive down the freeway and they're doing the barrier walls on the outside for the sound barrier. It's all Hispanic. These people work. So you're from Belgium, who are your Mexicans? And they go, oh, Hungarians. Once they get it, they go, oh, all the people who come here and to work and do all the shit we don't want to do are from Albania.
Everyone's got their own flavor.
Right.
By the way, Qatar for the World Cup, this feels like, was the Al-Qaeda headquarters taken? Why did they pick this? It feels like there's so many things that are just weird laws in place and just too many restrictions.
It's not great. And I am I wrong? I'm looking for the answer. I'm not finding it this second. But we asked about Qatar at some point. Didn't someone say Indonesia?
Oh, who are their
who are the migrant workers?
Yeah. And also, shouldn't we be boycotting this?
You'd think that we're doing it.
20 minutes ago, they tried to pass some voting laws in Georgia, and Major League Baseball just picked up and left.
Yeah.
And all the big Delta and Coca-Cola and all the other blowhards that don't really care about voting laws were crowing about how this is blah, blah, blah. Nothing ever happened. Of course, all that Jim Crow 2.0 never happened. But Major League Baseball picked up and left immediately, and everyone's talking about boycotting and stuff like that. Should the U.S. soccer team go to one of these places with these draconian laws and participate? And then why are we cheering them on?
Great question.
Because we're fucking hypocrites. Yeah. That's why.
Well, as far as what else is going on over there, we may never know, especially since the government there isn't super accommodating to journalists. I don't know if you saw this video, but just last week, a Danish TV crew was interrupted by Qatari officials who threatened to break their camera equipment. They're just randomly on the street just doing nothing. This is just a public place. Here's the part where it kind of goes into English. Here's the clip.
Her, hvis vi drejer kameraet, we are live on Danish television, og der kan I se, nu bliver vi stoppet med at filme, og det er forholdene her. Mister, you invited the whole world you invited the whole world to come here. Why can't we film? It's a public place. We can film with this permit. This is the upgrade pass. and this is the accreditation. We can film anywhere we want. There are only, of course.
Only for the Qatar. Qatar, you have because the Qatar is
No, we don't need permit. But you can break the camera. You want to break the camera? Okay, you break the camera. Okay. Yes. So you're threatening us by smashing the camera.
He's filming in front of a yogurt place in the middle of a town.
And he had to buy the upgraded pass for that?
Jesus Christ.
We have new toppings coming out at this frozen yogurt place, and you will be revealing them on camera. And we just got Oreo cookie crumble, and we cannot...
Those Jimmys are the colors of the gay flag.
Rainbow Jimmys.
Stop filming.
Man.
Wait,
yeah.
Qatar, they make all their money off of oil?
I think so.
Because here's the moral of the story, everybody. If you made your money off of like innovation, like, you know, your Silicon Valley, Germany, you make a nice sports car, Japan, they don't really have natural resources. It's all kind of
tech
shit they had to make versus just shit underneath you that you suck out of the ground and then sell to a bunch of other nations. You get a weird attitude. It's like the attitude. It's like somebody wins the lottery versus someone who started a small business and grew it. Sure. You know what I mean? Like somehow the person that got the money for free is super tacky and has a horrible fucking attitude and looks like there's a plate of shit under their nose all the time. And the person that started their own business and built it is like magnanimous and helpful and humble and whatever. It can't just be a coincidence that all the rich nations that got rich through doing nothing, literally just being on top of an oil reserve, are all the worst. Top exports, petroleum gas, crude petroleum, refined petroleum, and hummus. I added hummus.
What?
Yeah, of course, they have the worst laws. They're the worst regimes. They have the biggest attitudes.
Well, and I had a friend who was so excited to go to Doha in Qatar. I was like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. I'm like, I don't want to go. I don't want to be anywhere near there because I'm the one, like, if I get pulled over, a cop can convince me I stole my own car. So I don't want to go to prison for something I didn't realize I was doing in a country that I probably didn't want me there.
Right.
No good.
Right.
You know, I went to Qatar for a week long of shows.
You did? You brought the Dr. Phil show
Circa
out there.
2006, it was Robin's idea. She goes, you need to get the fuck out of the house, bitch. And I said, all right, well, we'll take the program to Qatar and do and there are a bunch of weird laws. I wrote a few down just that I experienced for myself. You can't mention the movie Air Bud because they take it personally that their animals aren't as athletically gifted. You can't push your friend at a urinal. You know, sometimes when your buddy's peeing and you push him into the wall so he kind of gets piss on himself.
Especially if he's wearing khakis, like a light color khaki.
Oh, you go to jail and get beheaded if it's khaki
out in the restaurant with all the splatter
Sure.
all front. Right.
You can't masturbate to Mary Kate Olsen. Ashley's fine. You can't... You can't film in front of the Froyo spot. Found that out the hard way.
Right. The poor Danes.
You can't tie up an alligator to a fire hydrant, which, you know, hey. Okay.
Is any of this on your list?
No, I didn't. But I didn't have the detailed ones like that.
You can't.
General.
You can't do that thing where you put your finger through your zipper and pretend it's a wiener.
Right.
Oh, right.
In church,
that's indecent.
the finger dick trick I like to call it, where you go, "Hey, look at my finger penis," and then laughter ensues. So
I kind of agree with him on that one.
Can you do the one where you kind of have some of your scrotum out and you tell everyone you sat in gum?
Oh yeah, the gum scrotum trick is they actually invented that,
They
which is what the
did.
first episode was about. Was how the Qatarian people invented doner kebabs and the scrotum nutsack gum trick.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but my favorite part about being out there was the hospitality. They were all very nice. They were fired up for the World Cup, but then they said, "Be careful." And I said, "Okay, well, who touched you? We'll be right back. We'll keep it right here."
Yeah, they put together those shantytown camps. They bring in all these super impoverished people, and then they make them do all their slave labor.
Right.
It's awesome.
Okay.
All right, but go Team USA, right?
Right. Yeah, we're number one.
At the end of all that.
All right, let's bring it home.
You
Gina.
got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Gina Grad. That was the news with Gina Grad.
We really cherry pick our causes in this country. Indeed. We really have things that upset us greatly and then things we just don't give a shit about. Usually when it has to do with money, we tend to look the other way. All right. You can go to AdamCarolla.com for all live shows. Rialto Theater coming up December 15th at Tucson, and then Tempe Improv 16th and 17th. We're going to be doing some live shows there as well. And let's not forget about me and John Popper doing our Workin' Blue tour.
Whoa.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
That's
you
awesome.
can reserve your spot. It's kind of a land cruise. That'll be January 20th. And that'll be in Dallas. All right. Just go to AdamCarolla.com for all that. Adam Ray, Lexington, Kentucky. Comedy off Broadway. Great club. December 1st through the 3rd. Los Angeles Dynasty Theater, December 6th and 7th. AdamRayComedy.com is where you go. Adam, always funny.
Love you guys. Check out Tony Caruso on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. All the tour dates, AdamRayComedy.com. Welcome to Chippendales on Hulu.
And until next time, it's Adam Carolla for Adam Ray and Gina Grad. Say it. Mahalo.